Chest up, shoulders back. This is Revival Fitness, your home for gains and brains. You know, I may bring the old intro back full time. I'm not totally decided. A lot of you guys have asked me too about the algorithm. I like to joke that it went out to get milk one day and never came back. The gains and brains part seemed to take a very extended rest day. You know, I gotta keep my content under wraps better, I suppose, keep an eye on these things. But we have officially hit 50,000 subscribers, so thank you all very much for that. I've seen a lot of people comment that, man, this channel deserves easily over 100k, what gives? I've mentioned before, guys, if I was an ass kisser, and if I said the right things, and if I pretended to be positive and all this other stuff, if I did the political stuff properly, which I don't do, I very well could have 100,000 subscribers, maybe even more. It is what it is, this is just my personality. Sometimes I think I'm costing myself money and views, so be it. I would rather be authentic than kiss ass and pretend like I'm not kissing ass, because that just makes me sick inside. Anyway, we are going to do something special today. Not going to talk about any fitness stuff, any self-improvement stuff, any dating stuff. We're going to go back in time to when, not even whenever I started the channel, but we're going to watch the first video that I ever put up on YouTube, before I even came up with the name Revival Fitness, before I even knew that I was going to do this seriously. This was filmed, I want to say 6 years ago at this point. I was still in college. I think it was my senior year. And we're going to get a prime glimpse into me whenever I was in the position that a lot of you guys are in right now. I was in novice purgatory. I was going to the gym 5-6 days a week. I was always there. I was committed as hell, but I was not getting the results that matched my level of commitment. Nowhere close. For those of you that don't know, I formally started this channel in 2020. Whenever I went to work one day, and they said, hey, we're closing everything down. I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, 2 weeks. You guys remember that? And I was like, well, what's going on? They're like, yeah, you're gonna get paid by the government to sit on your ass. I was like, am I hearing this correctly? They're like, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. And then from that day forward, I started the channel. That's all I did. Whenever we were in that lockdown period, I just was pumping out videos. Pretty low quality videos looking back on it, but you gotta start somewhere. And in this video, I do impressions of popular fitness YouTubers. Some of them you guys will obviously recognize. Others, those of you who are newer to this scene, you may not even recognize them. I mean, it's been a number of years at this point, so there's been some level of turnover. Be sure down below, rate these impressions if you guys think they're good or bad. I think they're pretty good. I'm stalling now because I don't really want to watch this, but let's start. Now, those of you that are pro wrestling fans, you probably recognize that song. And you're gonna be like, wait a minute, you have MJF's theme song? I found this in the YouTube copyright-free library all those years ago. That's something a lot of wrestlers deal with. If they go to different promotions, they can't keep their theme song because the new one doesn't have the license, they don't want to pay the license fee, all that other stuff. But I do find that kind of funny. I was using that song before a lot of people knew about it.
Good fucking morning, goddammit! Just got to the motherfucking gym, about to kill some shoulders, goddammit!
You guys have seen this picture, I'm sure. I've posted this in some videos at some point. There I am with my 5% jug. Now, mind you, that is a basic milk jug that I ripped off the label and I Sharpied on the 5%. And you could even say, man, since Rich has been gone, that kind of marked the downturn of fitness content from typical old school bros. Just, you know, juice heads talking shit, just doing whatever they want, just going to the gym, getting ridiculous pumps. Since that point, that's when the science-based crowd really started to take over the hypertrophy cells. We really moved into nerd territory. So looking back on it, Rich Piana's death was one of the big flagpoles, I would say, that separates old YouTube fitness from more modern YouTube fitness.
Shoot! Da! Shoot! Da! Shoot!
What's up, guys? Jeff Cavalier, Athlete X.
Oh no.
And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at whatever muscle group you are about to train, because I'm a psychic.
At this time, I was probably 152 to 150-ish pounds, probably fluctuating at the most up to 155, depending on the day. I've told you guys before, I began training at 155 pounds, closer to lean skinny fat-ish. I know a lot of you guys had worse skinny fat predicaments than I did, but I mean, you can see there's no abs happening here. And after almost 3 years in the gym, I still weighed under 155 pounds. And if you guys have seen my Novice Purgatory video, if you have not seen that, you need to watch it, especially you novices. But one of the big mistakes guys make, one of the signs you're in Novice Purgatory, is that your weight has been stagnant for months, if not years in the gym. So I gained a little bit of muscle, I lost a decent amount of fat, sure, but realistically my body composition, even after years in the gym, had barely changed to any appreciable degree. It was after this point of constantly recomping, main gaining did not exist at that point, at least on any mainstream basis. Schmucky the Clown was the one who really brought that into light once his channel blew up. But before Greg Doucette got on the recumbent bike, Athlean X ran. And you can see I have the thing with the muscle markers. He became known for that. And one of the running memes on Cavalier's channel, this was back whenever I thought he was the smartest guy on earth. I listened to everything Athlean X said. That's why I was in Novice Purgatory, because he made me scared to eat. His training advice is hit or miss. Some of it's solid, other stuff it's kind of just like, whatever. I was a huge Athlean X fan at this point. I would watch him do exercises on YouTube. He would introduce a new thing. I would be in the gym the next day doing that thing, thinking that was going to be the magic.
Bro, motherfucker. I command you to grow.
Alright, C.T. Fletcher. Some of you young pups probably don't even know who that is. Maybe you've heard of him. I don't know if he even posts regularly anymore, but he's like one of those quasi-motivational guys. He yells and screams a lot, but they put his voice over those dramatic background songs and people get hyped up about it. You know, the type of guys that were in prison before and they got right with God and all that stuff. Like, those type of dudes, the motivation, macho type of guys, they love dudes like C.T. Fletcher.
Man, you to grow. You must grow. I'm the boss, motherfucker. I tell you what to do, you don't tell me.
He would talk to his muscles whenever he lifted. He would look at his arms when he curled and say things like, I command you to grow.
You don't tell me what to do, I tell you what to do, motherfucker. No, I ain't taking you to McDonald's on the way home. You take me to McDonald's on the way home, motherfucker.
I definitely should have put on a microphone for this, my god.
I want a quarter pounder with cheese, motherfucker. It's still your motherfucking set.
It's still yo MFing set. Yeah, that's his big phrase. You might have heard that.
Do something, motherfucker. Annihilate. If you don't like me, fight me, motherfucker. I'll fight you.
You can see people, the camera's out of focus. My bro was just recording me. He's not a videographer at all. But you can see people in the back looking at me. This happened for a lot of these impressions. That was fun. This was before cameras in gyms became widespread. Like, back then, this was a shocking occurrence. Like, wait, somebody's filming in here? We actually got kicked out at the end toward this video. You don't get to see it. But one of the staff members came up and was like, you guys can't film in here. And we continued because we weren't done yet, but we kind of had to hide and dodge them, like Scooby-Doo and the monster people they chase around.
Similar to how girls perform the walk of shame after they have sex with the broke ass.
Fellow Guido Domizzetti, had to do him. If you guys miss Bro Science Life's peak, by the way, he still posts very funny videos. He's just a generally entertaining guy, very well-written stuff.
The most effective alternative to taking steroids: lie. All the benefits of taking steroids with none of the side effects of not taking steroids. With this one simple trick, you can now claim to be genetically and morally superior without having to be either.
The Bro Science Life channel peaked whenever I was new to the gym, like 2014 to 2016-ish. I started on the later end of that, but I saw a lot of his videos after I started. He's still funny, but man, before he had all the tattoos and everything, he was posting actually almost weekly before that became a total meme. New videos every week. But I would still consider Bro Science Life the greatest YouTube channel of all time, at least YouTube fitness channel, because the guy turned a meme into, he probably makes what, 6 up to 7 figures on a good year? Just a gym bro that drinks a lot and skips legs. He turned that into a career, and it's hilarious. That dude is brilliant. Notice I'm curling in the squat rack. Now, something too, if you see the gym behind me, this facility, this was the first gym I was ever formally a part of in my college campus. You see in the back, there are bumper plates, tons of them, rogue squat racks everywhere. There are specialty bars. They've got a glute ham raise and other equipment that you don't always see in the back. Man, I did not realize how good I had it in this gym. Because I was new, I didn't know what other gyms look like. I mean, this gym has a lot more too. I'd like to go back to my college gym at one point and work out there. Just for old time's sake, I want to do that really badly at some point. Maybe I could do that later this year. This gym, man, had decked out machines on the bottom floor. They had full dumbbell racks on each side. On the top floor, they had smaller machines, more stack-loaded. Bottom was plate-loaded. Full running track on top. They had a bunch of cardio equipment. They had basketball courts. Hindsight is so painful, but like, how well I could have applied myself and how many gains I could have made in this gym if I knew what I know now. Oh man, it hurts, dude. It hurts.
It's your duty as a bro to perform the walk of game after a sick-ass off-pump. Find that good lighting, put on your game face, and flex on these peasants. All the haters say, Kylie Muscle, how you get so damn big?
Collie Muscle, Jack. I think he still makes content. I don't know how popular he is, but man, whenever he got big, dude, Collie Muscle's one of those guys I talk about in terms of like a fitness litmus test or an IQ test. Like, I used to believe he was natural, right? I actually bought it whenever I was young because he's another guy, right? I was in the state pen, blood, and I was in the penitentiary, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, oh my god, wow. And again, guys will say, well, how could he be on PEDs in prison? There's no way that you can get those in prison. Yeah, you easily can, guys. I made a whole video about that. I'll link it up in the top corner if you want to watch, but you think criminals surrounded by other criminals and shady police officers who deal with the drugs, you think they can't get drugs? But I actually thought Collie Muscle was natural for a little bit of time. I think I broke out of that sort of quickly, but I was like, man, he just knows what he's doing. He just must have such a crazy diet. He just trains all day. He does his garbage bag curls. Black genetics.
What's your secret? What's your cycle? Bitch, the only cycle you need to be worried about is your menstrual cycle. The only drug I'm on is this here hyphy mud.
If you guys don't know, hyphy mud is his famous concoction. It's his pre-workout. He would mix coffee beans or coffee roast, ground coffee, I guess I should say. He would mix that with soda of some type. So he would get a big hit of caffeine both ways and a bunch of sugar from the soda, and he would drink that and go work out. And I think he had a heart attack, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, all the anabolics and tons of caffeine every day. Yeah, your heart's not going to be very happy. In case you're wondering, I did try to drink it. I took a sip and almost threw up.
All the haters say that I use fake weights. Uh-oh. I think these is fake too. They must be aluminum.
I gotta say, man, this is a good impression. I sound just like that mofo.
What's going on, nation? Scott Herman here with another exercise tutorial.
Scott Herman. Man, he was huge back in the day. I don't know if he still posts. Probably does, but man, he used to get 1 million views. You could say Scott Herman was the first Jeremy Ethier. That's the comparison I'm thinking of. I don't know how accurate that totally is, but he used to be like the go-to guy aside from Athlean X. Very, very thick Boston accent. I think it was obvious he was exaggerating that a bit. If he wasn't, then that's impressive.
Today we're going to be performing barbell shoulder press to focus on all 3 legs of the deltoid. So what you're going to do is take a barbell, hoist it up to your shoulders.
Man, look at the size of my head in relation to my torso. Like, my head is the size of my pecs.
The fitness industry is fucked. It's full of lies.
Oh man, Bradley Martin. First of all, the lighting here is terrible. I definitely did not color grade this properly. I don't know if Bradley Martin posts a lot of vlogs anymore. I don't even know if Zoo Culture was opened at this point. I guess it was since I'm wearing the hat. I think it was very new. Now I think they have multiple locations. I think he's more of a gym owner than content now. I think he does a podcast, I'm not entirely sure. But Brad is famous for always wearing the hat in his videos because he's bald. And, you know, bald guys and hats go together like peanut butter and jelly. But Bradley Martin was always doing these weird videos, you know, a lot of pranks and stuff like that. He's always struck me as kind of a goofy guy, but I mean, he's got a very successful business and his gym is sweet. I'd like to get there at some point, maybe I will.
You guys gotta remember, there are only really 3 main keys to muscle getting stronger, right?
Oh yeah, he always was doing this in his videos. Brad would be like, so guys, he would always talk about something with 3 and always do this motion.
The first one is lifting on a hoverboard. When you lift on a hoverboard, it gives you good ankle mobility and it works your core. Plus it gets you hella Instagram likes.
Yeah, he used to do those lifts. He would squat a bunch of weight on a hoverboard. He'd have girls on the end of the barbell. Okay, I remember that.
The second one is lifting with girls on the bar instead of weights. The thing about girls is they give off pheromones. When you lift with girls on the bar, your body will pick up on these pheromones and turn it into testosterone. Normal weights don't give off those pheromones.
Yeah, that's the funny thing with Brad, man. He's always, you know, he's hard to tell sometimes, at least he used to be. He rides that line between he's being very sarcastic, but you can't always tell if he's joking or not. I tend to do that too myself.
And third is lift with the hat on. You guys always see me do it. When you lift with the hat on, it keeps the mental gains from escaping your head. Make sure you guys always keep your hat on. Hey yo, we still rolling?
Oh man, that stuff. You know, whenever people put on that act whenever their cameraman moves.
Title of this email: does masturbating before the gym increase or decrease your levels of testosterone?
The Hodge twins. Oh man. They used to be very big in fitness back in the day. They got very popular for their trying food vlogs. They would basically go to a drive-thru and try whatever new thing that a given restaurant had. They would eat it in their car. I mean, the Hodge twins had a lot of channels. They had like the normal, regular news channel. They had like a dating advice one, the fitness one. I think now they're very, very political. Like they're hardcore Trumpers, I believe. I don't know if their following is the same size. It could even be bigger, really, because politics transcends any other niche. Like, oh, there's fitness and there's cooking, there's this and that. Politics is all encompassing. So I'm sure they're getting a good amount from that if they still are posting. They are very, very entertaining, just their general personality and aura.
Yeah. Man, you must be a young kid. Still beating off? Yeah. What you gotta do is find yourself a nice girl. Nice, pretty young thing. Yeah, man. Get yourself a girl. Leave them nuts hanging out.
Yeah, they would always talk about, when it comes to smashing, leaving the nuts hanging out. Dude, they have a lot of great phrases and, like, malapropisms.
Go lift. Your gain's about to be good. Yeah. Real good.
Alright, I sound just like them. That's like a 9 out of 10 impression at least. That was great. They used to do that thing on the intro too whenever they would be like yodeling. It would be like, oh, and the one would come in and he would be like, what's up, everybody? Their old stuff is, I'm sure you could find it on YouTube if YouTube didn't take it down, which I'm sure YouTube took a lot of their old content down. But very, very entertaining guys, regardless of what you think about them otherwise. They're just very, very amusing. I think they even do stand-up comedy, like some type of touring now. They go across the country and do that. Would I pay to go see them? I'm not entirely sure, but people evidently do.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I got another question from a subscriber.
Oh my god, alright. We're saving the best for last here. It's Koth. You can see the airsoft shotgun over my shoulder. That's not a real weapon. This was back in the Blaha days whenever he would craft. So I think he would prepare bullets. I think that was the gist of it. This was back whenever people claimed that he was in a wheelchair collecting disability, but he actually didn't need it, like Ricky's dad from Trailer Park Boys.
You lied to the guy in the chair, Rick.
Man, Blaha, dude, he's like a cockroach. Like, he just doesn't die. I've told you guys before, I did Ice Cream Fitness, the 5x5. I think I did a little modification of it, but that was the first program that I actually did that got me legitimate results. That and actually bulking. So I'm not one of these guys that just blindly hates on Blaha. I don't make a million videos about him. It's a lot of low-hanging fruit there for sure. I looked at his channel briefly. He's going out sad, it seems like. He barely gets any views now. He posts just ludicrous diet advice. I don't know where the hell he gets this information from. It's just terrible, though. Still doing the same thing, right? He's always like, I'm gonna lose fat, never loses the fat. Or he gets sort of lean, then he stops. Still trying to bring up his arms, which he says every week that he was going to bring up his arms. It never seems to work. Man, what a character, bro. And he's still going all this time later. You never know what the next chapter of him will hold. You really never know, because he flip-flops a lot. He goes from one thing to another. He totally changes his mind, acts like he didn't change his mind. The whole fake mercenary thing, he could have just owned that, but he chose to double down, and that basically ruined his career. I mean, dude, there's still channels to this day that post about him like every day. They call it the Ments, because he's such an LOL cal in so many ways. I don't think he realizes that he is.
Asking yet again why Lane Norton is so obsessed with me.
Oh, this was back during the Lane Norton beef. Okay, so as far as I know, Blaha called out Lane Norton way back in the day because Lane was pushing BCAAs, and there was no scientific basis, which, by the way, Lane definitely did that, and he just skated through it. And now he's viewed as a demigod, even though he's wrong about a lot of things. But Blaha, to his credit, was one of the first people that actually called out Lane for being wrong about that. And Lane sued him and tried to take him to court. I think Blaha just didn't go to court. He just didn't show up to the hearings. And I think Norton said he spent something like $100,000+ trying to get Jason Blaha taken down in court, and he failed. If I'm not mistaken, Blaha lived in the United Kingdom at the time. He was married to a woman over there. And then because the lawsuit was presented to him there, he left and then moved back to the United States to evade it. I think that's the storyline. I could be wrong. Some of you Blaha historians, I'm sure, know this much better than I do. Like, you gotta give Blaha the W there, dude, because he got this guy to be so obsessed with him for so long, and nothing really came out of it. I mean, Blaha shoots himself in the foot better than anybody else ever could. So both of them kind of took an L here, but Blaha won on terms of just the technicalities, I would say.
So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing.
The +5 hat of weaponsmithing.
What you guys need to understand is that Lane Norton has spent literally tens of thousands of dollars trying to stop me.
I don't know what device I'm using here that I was trying to replicate the crafting thing with.
When you spend tens of thousands of dollars in an effort to stop someone, you're technically paying them that money. Think about that for a second.
But that is that. And, you know, this was very amusing for me for a number of reasons. If not just looking at my old self and remembering what I used to look like. You guys get to compare and contrast to me then, to me now as well. You've also seen me over the years in between those points. But the personalities on YouTube Fitness, bro, it was just so much more entertaining back in the day. And you can argue that the information now is better on the whole. I'd say largely that is the case. But content now, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, man, it's just so carbon copy. That's par for the course because fitness as an industry has grown rapidly since this time frame whenever this video was made. But everything is just like the same reels, the same type of content, the same edits, the same sounds and music are being used. Everybody's referencing the same studies. Some big name comes out with it, then it trickles down. All the smaller influencers do it, then the next smaller ones do it. It's like trickle-down economics in a way. Everybody's just parroting each other and all this stuff. And there's always going to be some level of useless drama. I mean, even the drama back then was far more entertaining than this crappy drama today. I'd like to think I'm doing my part in being unique, and I kind of have my own vibe on this channel. I don't, like I said, kiss people's asses and lump myself in, like, oh, hey, accept me and like me, and I say what you guys think because I know it's going to get me more followers, right? I kind of harp back to those days. If I knew what I knew now, I can't imagine the progress I would have had by this point. I'm going to keep bringing that up because it's just so painful. Like, it hurts deep inside what I could have done. But you live and learn. It was all part of the process. You know, that's part of the journey as a lifter. Some people, you start in the gym, maybe you have a serious coach or trainer, and you get good information from day one. That's awesome, man. Some people, luck of the draw, fate, whatever you want to call it, we have to learn the hard way. And for a lot of us, we have to learn the hard way for a long time. For many years, in fact. If I knew what I do now, I would have started my channel back then. I would easily have over 1 million subs by now. I'd be totally rich. I'd have a big house, a bunch of cars. Oh, boy. It's time to end this video.